The building was shaking, the windows were breaking, the rain was coming in.
My roof is missing. My ceiling is collapsed.
Honestly, it looked like a bomb had gone off.
And we have to keep going. It's not an option to just give up just because everything's gone.
You know, honestly, because this is like above and beyond the Call of Duty.
It's inspirational to me to say that we are one blood. That reminds me that we're a team.
Thank you for joining us for this very special We Are One Blood presentation. I'm Susan Forbes.
And I'm Pat Michaels. You're about to hear the courageous story of the One Blood team members who rode out the storm inside Bay Medical Center as the windows and walls were being destroyed around them.
You're also going to hear from several of our team members who are dealing with the devastation of losing their homes. You're looking at the pictures of the destruction, and they are going to share their stories of survival.
And we're going to show you when CEO Bud Scholl visited each area of the Panhandle to check on the team and to personally thank them for their commitment.
But we begin with the 4 brave and dedicated team members who were inside Bay Medical Center when the hurricane hit.
The team was at the hospital because they work in the transfusion lab that One Blood operates inside Bay Medical. We recently met with the team in Panama City as they shared their stories of courage and commitment as they literally felt the hurricane ripping the hospital apart.
The building was shaking, the windows were breaking.
And we could hear the storm pulling at them, tearing at them, almost as if it was a giant beast trying to break in. And it did.
The laboratory is a narrow building, and you could feel both sides pushing in.
We just hunkered down. Eventually, you could just feel the wind just blowing through the entire lab.
We were sitting in the hallway and just trying to comfort each other, and we didn't know what was coming, but you could hear the building coming apart.
Second floor, lost windows, third floor, water's coming in from everywhere.
And we're the first floor of a 3-story building. So we wondered what was going on, above us.
You just had to sit there. We all prayed if that was, something that you did, and we just waited. When we walked out, it looked like a totally different place. I've never seen anything like this in my whole life. This is something you see on the news, like a war zone.
Honestly, it looked like a bomb had gone off. One of the structures was like pretty much most of the outer covering was gone. You could see the broken windows.
There were a lot of tears. There was a lot of shock.
It takes your breath away. I think pretty much everyone's car that was there, like mine, was totaled, or everyone lost their windows.
An entire tree was ripped out of the ground and it was thrown over here. And another tree was ripped out of the ground and it was thrown over there. Next to your car, near your car, on that guy's car. Just trees everywhere. And we went out and we took a picture. The fact that, we all felt it's like we made it through this.
There's no way you can go through something like that and not come out changed. I have many meltdowns every now and then. I'm grateful. I say a prayer every day. I'm grateful for the blessings and the hardships. They make you who you are and they make you dig deep. Makes you appreciate everything.
We had to evacuate around 200 patients. And there was at least one patient we know of that needed a transfusion in the air. So one of the first units that we issued was to a patient that was going to be hooked up to that unit and then flown out.
There were still people needing transfusions, still people coming into the ER. Blood was still needed.
Then we had a massive transfusion protocol. It's the worst case scenario if you're working in a blood bank. And so I had to pack up the blood, 4 reds, 4 plasmas, get the ice ready for the runner to come and take it to the patient. They need it. They need it now.
We're practically doing work by candlelight in the hottest room you can imagine.
Room temperature got up to 33 Celsius, which is almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
You didn't want to leave the blood bank unmanned because you never knew what was coming in the door.
Things happened during a hurricane after the hurricane, before the hurricane. It is absolutely critical that we have the blood supply. That's what I signed on for. I talked to my little girl. She knows daddy's got to go to work. He's going to save people's lives.
Your house and your property, that's secondary to what I have to do at the hospital, what my job is. And when you go into this field, you have to want to take care of people. I mean, we serve the community.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like a hero. And so we go to this job that not everybody wants to go to. Not everybody wanted to come back to Panama City. And we did, for the people, for the patients. That's what we do.
It's inspirational to me to say that we are one blood. That reminds me that we're a team. That's just not a slogan to me. I feel it when I say it, and we are one blood. That's a team. That's our family. That's a support system. We depend on it. I know it's there.
I think One Blood is absolutely wonderful, especially in their just a whole One Blood family supporting us in our time of need. I thought it was very generous, above and beyond the call of duty.
One Blood got us everything we needed. It was 100 degrees in the room, here's a portable air conditioner. Still hot, here's 2. You need food, here's a cart full of food and drinks. You need this, you need that, and we had everything.
I was getting texts from people all over One Blood, and everybody, are you okay? We heard what's happening. What do you need? Immediately, before the storm even had passed.
One Blood has been very supportive.
It's the only job I've ever worked where my boss's boss and so on all called in to check on us every day for weeks. I've never worked anywhere that showed that much dedication to making sure we're all right.
We are one blood, and that's to me, it says it all.
Such an incredible story of courage and commitment by each of them. Now, you might have noticed that Cindy was wearing a sling on her arm, and that's because she sustained a minor injury to her wrist during storm cleanup, but she's doing great, and she's still back on the job. And I want to thank Cindy, Pam, Russell, and Brett for sharing their stories with us. And the support from the One Blood team continued the morning after the storm. That's when additional team members began to arrive at Bay Medical. We caught up with Emily Vaughn, who drove more than 50 miles to get to the hospital, not letting all that debris stop her from reaching her coworkers.
When I drove into the city, nothing had been touched yet. Nothing had been cleaned up. I was driving over debris that I was sure was going to pop my tires.
Emily said it was important for her to make it to work that morning so she could give her team members a much needed break.
Probably all they wanted at that point was to go home and take care of things, after having been there for so long and dealt with the trauma of the hurricane coming through. I mean, I can't imagine what it sounded like to be inside that building as windows are breaking. So, I know that they were grateful for me to be there. That's like my One Blood family, so I needed to go take care of them.
Another member of the One Blood family at Bay Medical hunkered down in her bathtub while Hurricane Michael tore off her roof. It broke her windows and brought trees down all around her house. Medical technology Tiffany Batamy didn't evacuate her home in Panama City because she wanted to be nearby so she could relieve the team that was riding out the storm at Bay Medical. But as Tiffany tells us in her own words, she wasn't prepared for what the storm left behind.
I was about to go to bed the night before, and they said it was going to be like a low category 4. I said, okay, well, that's kind of scary, but it's too late for me to get out. Me and the dog went and sat in the shower, and I was on the floor and he was on top of me, and we had blankets over our heads just in case, and flashlights and water. I was so incredibly nervous, nervous to the point like I could cry, and I could hear all the sounds, and it sounded really, really bad. And poor Sammy, the dog, was crying, and I'm just trying to keep him calm and keep myself calm. I called my mom, and it was still going, but it didn't sound so bad. And so I was talking to her as I was walking, and I was like, Mom, my roof is missing. My ceiling is collapsed. My living room, there's water coming in. I don't know what to do. And as I'm talking to her, more starts falling. All of my doors were blocked. I couldn't get out the front door because there was a tree on top of the roof, and I didn't want to open the door because it was so heavy on there that I thought maybe if I opened the door, just the ceiling would come down on me because the door is in the living room. I just walked the street and I took a video, and it was just astounding. It was like a bomb hit. It's something you see on like National Geographic or the TV. You don't expect it to happen to your hometown.
And this house is just gone. Gone.
My house, we deemed it officially unlivable. It's really, really comforting because, everything's up in the air. If you lost your house, the hospital is going to have to be fixed. So to be able to relocate and have that job back and go back to helping people and working on saving lives and kind of have, I may be living in somebody else's house and not have all of my stuff, but the fact that I can go into work and, still help people, and it's still for the same company. I don't have to, apply for different things and try to find a new job and learn a whole new system and everything like that is fantastic. We are one blood. We're all just kind of one big family. So just having this normalcy, and I get to go to work tomorrow at 8 a.m. and do what I do best, and help people.
Tiffany had just moved to Florida from Virginia in the spring specifically to work for One Blood, and she actually made the decision to leave the trauma center she worked for to join One Blood after she happened to come across our documentary Lifeline: The Untold Story of Saving the Pulse Survivors.
I think one night I was just scrolling through Amazon Prime and I saw the Pulse documentary, and I didn't even realize it was a One Blood thing. The donors got to meet the people that they saved. It was awesome. And I think the next day I put in an application for One Blood. It seems like an awesome company, and it really brought attention to what we do. And when I saw that documentary, I was like, I'm going to apply and apply and apply until I'm hired because I want to work for them. And luckily it only took once.
And we're glad she's here. Another member of One Blood's Bay medical team also rode out the storm. Chrislyn Pandolfi lives just about 10 minutes from the hospital, but her family didn't leave because they weren't in what's considered an evacuation zone. I met with Chrislyn outside of her parents' home. We didn't go inside because it wasn't safe, but as we talked, she shared with me what it was like when the storm hit and how the inside of their home crumbled down around them.
It's been tough, very heartbreaking, and definitely this is my family's home. And just to see what my parents have been through and this too, it's been really hard. We didn't expect it to be this bad. I mean, you can hear the roof flying off and just water pouring in. I mean, everything got wet.
Could you hear that bang falling when it was falling?
Honestly, no. There was so much other sounds, like the roof literally flying off, that we didn't even know until we had come out after everything had kind of calmed down. My family lose everything they've worked so hard for, that's been passed down to them for generations. It's a home. It's much more than a home, You lose memories. I've lost a lot in this storm, but One Blood has definitely assured me that I haven't lost my job. That was no worries there. They did everything to make sure I knew that I have somewhere to go job-wise. Might not have somewhere to live right now, but yeah, they've relocated me to Tallahassee, and they're definitely working with me to make sure that I get paid and I have a job during this time. We've come together as a community. We're building, we're helping others that were less fortunate, and we're just striving for a bigger, brighter future, and we're just taking it one day at a time, and I'm just blessed that we're all survivors.
And One Blood is committed to helping all of its team members who were affected by Hurricane Michael.
Susan, our CEO, Bud Show, wanted to make sure the Bay medical team members knew how much he and One Blood appreciated the extraordinary things they had to go through during and after the powerful storm.
That's right, and Bud had the chance to actually hear their stories about how they had to hold it together while the building was literally being ripped apart around them.
I'm here in Panama City at Bay Medical Center, and I'm very excited because I'm actually about to go meet the team that rode out the storm in this building behind me.
In the midst of this destruction to the hospital, the team met with Bud outside in a tent because cameras were not allowed inside.
Good to see you. I'm so glad.
Thanks for coming. Hey,
So good to see you guys.
Good to see
Tina,
you.
how are you?
They shared with Bud about their terrifying night, with some of them inside the lab during the worst hours of the hurricane.
I'm very curious to hear. I want to hear what happened. I want to hear from you guys because I'm very, very curious because I can't imagine being in that building during this storm. I just, yeah.
It was a ride.
Really?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was a ride. I got to hand it to Pam because she was a very calming force. Bangs and the pops, and I jump a little. She goes, "Okay, Cindy, it's okay, it's okay," but
it's still scary.
I know, but
you
she
know
was.
What's going on around you, and the fact that y'all stayed there and stayed, in such a critical time, I think speaks volumes, to our mission and to your dedication to our mission. I think what y'all did here was extraordinary, and I think we'll be talking about this for years to come. There is no question. We got a lot of great people here. That's the bottom line. We got a great team here. I mean, across the board.
Well, Bud, we appreciate you coming and
Thanks,
seeing
man.
us, and I think we're very proud to work for a company like OneBlood.
Knowing your job's intact and knowing you can come back to work, and that was the message that I gave everybody. That was just to tell folks not to worry. I mean, the main thing I want to convey is I want to thank everybody, honestly, because this is like above and beyond the call of duty.
I think we're all proud to be OneBlood.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are
We are
OneBlood. Boy, isn't
OneBlood.
that the truth?
After their visit, they toured the grounds, and Bud reinforced his appreciation for their unwavering commitment to our mission.
I'm looking forward to you seeing our lab.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing the lab. This is where you spent the night, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were in here.
All right. Let's go.
So, this is the lab we're in. This is where we were during the storm.
I'm so proud of everyone, simply because it really embodies what we're all about. But at the end of the day, it's a team effort. We support our mission, but we support each other, and that's the most gratifying thing that I've seen throughout this whole event. We are OneBlood.
Bud's visit with the Bay Medical team gave him a chance to not only hear how everyone continued to operate during the worst hours, but the personal stories that have brought them all closer together as a team. There will be more updates on the lab and the team members as they put their lives back together again. The team also received a visit from our Senior Vice President of Laboratories, who brought them some care packages. Jean Dariotis drove over from Tallahassee to Bay Medical Center to deliver battery-operated fans, lanterns, and other items. She also wanted to check to see how everyone was doing, thank them for staying at the hospital that night and fulfilling their life-saving mission no matter what the storm brought.
I don't think it ever occurred to any of them that they wouldn't stay, that they wouldn't see this through, that they wouldn't be here to make sure the blood was there when the patients were ready for it, that they wouldn't protect the property. That's the kind of people we hire and work for OneBlood. I mean, it's pretty amazing. They're good people. And I'm so pleased that the hospital is planning to come back. We're excited about that. And the hospital has just been so good to our staff. You always worry, we're really a vendor to them, but they've treated us like we're their own. And we're involved, and they take care of our staff for us, and that's great.
Bay Medical was well stocked with blood thanks to the efforts of our OneBlood couriers who made extra deliveries before the storm arrived. The day we were at Bay Medical, we ran right into OneBlood courier Terry Spilling, and he shared what he had to go through to get the life-saving blood to the hospital before Michael made landfall.
What happened is while we was coming in, everybody was evacuating. So the traffic was easy, but when we turned around and was heading back to Pensacola, we had to worry about our fuel because all the fuel was being brought up.
And Terry not only helped make sure blood was available before and during the storm, he was also back on the roads as soon as the hurricane let up to resume daily deliveries to Bay Medical and other hospitals in the area because the need for blood never stops.
Today as I arrived about 5 minutes ago just to make a regular Bay Medical delivery from Pensacola, Florida. We do it every day, 7 days a week, no matter what the conditions.
And Terry covers a lot of ground on a daily basis. His deliveries from Pensacola to Panama City takes him around 6 hours round trip.
You know, Susan, many team members were forced out of or even lost their homes in the Panama City area due to Hurricane Michael, but OneBlood stepped up and provided a place for them to stay. Donor Services Scheduler Teresa Young took on the major task of finding hotel rooms for all the team members from the Panama City area who were relocated to Pensacola to work. Teresa says finding available rooms was difficult, but she prevailed, so she was so glad she was able to help the team.
Trying to find a hotel for people after hurricane is like almost impossible. I'm glad I'm involved, yeah, I really am. I like to help people and to help my coworkers is even better. I can't say enough good things about OneBlood. They really went above and beyond to help our employees make sure that they had a place to stay.
Fellow Panama City coworker Megan Farmer evacuated just hours before Michael made landfall. She waited to get out because she, like so many others, was not in a mandatory evacuation zone. Now, after losing nearly everything and seeing the destruction in Panama City, she's glad she decided to evacuate.
I mean, it was heartbreaking. I couldn't help but cry the whole time. I was just sobbing. I was like, our home is gone. Everything I've worked for 9 months is just gone. I am Megan Farmer, and this is my story. And I was not fully prepared for what I was about to see. It was really bad. It was like a bomb had been set off in the bay, and all of the trees were just bent over and pushed and gone, and they were bare. And I mean, it was horrible. And I get on my street, and you can't even recognize it. I mean, you just don't know what you're looking for anymore. I'm dodging trees. Trees are still on the road. And then I see the apartment, so I turn in. Like, I don't have a home to go to. There's a tree, and it just demolished my house. I tried to unlock the door, and I realized that the frame has collapsed. I had to kick my own door in. And then I realized the whole structure is caving in. The windows are all busted out. Someone had looted in there. They took whatever groceries they could, and I'm not even mad about it. At this point, I'm like, if you needed it, you get it. Everything in my room was untouched. All I have left are my clothes and like my important documents, my pictures. So many people have lost their jobs, and that's what I was worried about most. I was like, if I lose my job, I don't know what to do. OneBlood put us up in Pensacola the next day. I was like, thank God, you know. Our company has taken care of us. They've paid our per diem. They've put us up in a hotel. You know, they are making sure that we have hours. They have tirelessly worked getting us put on drive so that we can work and we can help other people, and we have to keep going. Just because our hospitals have been knocked down doesn't mean that people don't need transfusions. It doesn't mean that people are going to get in an accident and don't need blood. And it doesn't mean that we can just stop working just because life keeps going on. I've worked for big companies before, but they've never extended a hand like this. This is a company I don't think I'll ever leave.
Team members like Megan and Antonio had the chance to meet with CEO Bud Scholl. Bud went to personally check on team members in Fort Walton Beach, Crestview, Pensacola, Tallahassee, and Thomasville, Georgia. And everywhere Bud went, he heard the stories and felt the gratitude of team members who were affected by Hurricane Michael. One after another, Bud took the time to thank them face to face, from the supervisors who coordinated the relocation efforts to the team members who made sure blood still made it to our hospital partners despite impassable roads and dangerous conditions. And for Bud, it was those face-to-face meetings that really showed him the spirit of the OneBlood team.
Seeing the outpouring of support for the team members that got affected by the storm, meeting several of the team members that got affected by the storm, and seeing their appreciation for what we've done made me feel great.
Since our visit, we are happy to report that our frontline team members from the Panama City and Mariana areas have returned home or have found other places to live in that area. And as of right now, the only donor center that remains closed is the Mariana location, but that is expected to reopen in the near future.
We also want to recognize the team members who kept the blood supply moving before, during, and after the storm. At one point, OneBlood had to resort to flying the blood to where it was needed to go. So Stephanie Zorin has been on the move and takes us behind the scenes at our Pensacola Distribution Center to show you the lengths our team went to in order to make sure the hospital partners had the blood they needed.
This is One Blood's distribution hub in Pensacola. Every day, couriers bustle in and out of these doors to get blood to patients in need. But the day after Hurricane Michael, they encountered a situation they had never faced before.
Pensacola was not impacted by the hurricane, but it did put us in an unusual position in getting blood to us. We were waiting for our normal daily delivery of inventory, which could not get to us.
The roads were closed, telephone lines down, power lines down, and some roads were impassable. They had 80 miles of the interstate going to Tallahassee that was blocked. So we couldn't get there. Even the back roads, everything was blocked.
We were cut off. We couldn't send anything out. We couldn't get anything in. We did not have the option of waiting till the next day to get the products. We needed it now because the patients are waiting on our products and their lives depend on it.
The only way we could get blood, we needed it real bad, and the only way we could get it was have a helicopter to fly it into us.
The helicopter took off from Tallahassee Memorial Hospital, flew to Pensacola Airport, and we had Bob, one of our couriers there, to pick up the blood, and he was ready and waiting for the helicopter to arrive.
With the helicopter bringing it in, it was so fast that he needed to not even shut it down. He called and said, "Can I get the fuel?" I talked with him, "Yeah, we can get the fuel. While it's running, we'll fuel him up." They had so much blood in it, it was 3 big boxes, and they had one in the co-pilot seat and 2 in the rear, which took up the whole inside of the helicopter. And then he's gone. I mean, it was that urgent that he had to get back. They needed him back in Tallahassee, so it was amazing, that's for sure.
It was a great relief to know that we were able to get the products that we needed to be able to service our hospitals and take care of our patients.
I just think it was great that we could fly in the blood like that and the people that needed it. I mean, no expense is spared, you know. We just needed it and we got it, you know, via helicopter. During a hurricane or any kind of natural disaster, you have a need for blood, and you have to get it there whichever way you can, whatever way you can. But this time it was, you know, by a helicopter coming in, bringing it in.
I am very proud of my team. They are a dedicated bunch. They work hard. They're here to do not just a job, but they're here to do their mission, which is to take care of the patients in our area and to supply the hospitals with what they need.
This operation is a clear example of the dedication of our team members. How rain or shine and 24/7, our mission to save lives continues. For One Blood, I'm Stephanie Zorin in Pensacola.
The One Blood team always finds a way to fulfill our mission.
They certainly do, and that's why the communications team went on assignment to the Florida Panhandle. There were important stories of courage and commitment to share with you. The people we featured are part of the team that's on the front lines and behind the scenes every day, ensuring a ready blood supply no matter the circumstances. And we are so glad you were able to meet them.
We hope the show gives you a glimpse into the culture of our organization,
as well as the incredible team that works here. All of it combined is what we mean when we say we are One Blood.